Wake up with 3 weekday mornings from 5 to 8. Now, Eyewitness News this morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 6th. I'm Kara Sundlun in today for David Nelson.
Nice to have you here. He's feeling a little bit under the weather this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ellee Hong. It is 5 o'clock in the morning. Kind of chilly outside, 32 degrees outside. Bruce DePrest is coming up with weather on the 3s at 5:03.
But first, Ellie, we want to look at our top stories. And this morning, for the first time, Connecticut has lost a soldier in the war in Afghanistan. This morning, people in Windsor Locks are mourning the death of Air Force Sergeant John Chapman. Channel 3's Andre Hepkins has a story from the soldier's hometown.
When he told me how dangerous the jobs really were, I prayed that it wouldn't happen, but it did.
Terry Giccone knew one day her third-born child, John Chapman, would die for his country.
Breaks my heart.
Monday night, a painful possibility became the tragic truth for a family in Windsor Locks.
Johnny was a son any mother would be proud to claim as her own. He was so kind-hearted. He loved his family dearly.
John Chapman was one of 7 U.S. servicemen who were killed in eastern Afghanistan Monday. They died as they defended themselves against fierce Taliban and Al-Qaeda attackers. Chapman was a member of the Air Force's Special Operations.
People don't know how hard it is to get into that. He started out with about 1,500, I guess, starting the whole training. When the final graduation, there were 7.
John Chapman joined the military in 1985, 2 years after he graduated from Windsor Locks High School, where he excelled at soccer.
He was a darn good little athlete. He made varsity all 4 years. And he was also a really good diver. He made varsity that, and he was 3 years all-state in that.
And that boy became the 36-year-old airman who now leaves behind this widow, Valerie, 2 little daughters, Madison and Brianna, and a Connecticut family who will miss a son, brother, uncle.
Awesome brother. All of us, you know, my sister, my other brother. Everybody's gonna miss him.
Dozens of family members and friends will attend John Chapman's funeral in Windber, Pennsylvania, where his widow is from. Ultimately, there will be a memorial service here in Windsor Locks. I'm Andre Hepkins reporting for Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
The fighting continues in Afghanistan as U.S. troops push forward in Operation Anaconda. A U.S. commander there says hundreds of Taliban and Al-Qaeda fighters have been killed. We now have the first pictures of the new mission. They were taken by a U.S. Army cameraman over the weekend, showing soldiers from the 101st Airborne. Military commanders say 1,000 U.S. ground troops, along with helicopter assaults, are taking their toll on the enemy.
Kill people. They're not roaming around freely like they were. They're dug in. They're hunkered in.
The Pentagon has ordered 5 more Cobra attack helicopters into action after a number of Apache helicopters were damaged by small arms fire.
Now, weather on the 3s. Here's Bruce DePrest from the Doppler 3000 Weather Center.
Good morning, everybody. It's 5:03 on a Wednesday morning, and we have some warmer air coming our way, but this morning it's going to start out rather cloudy, and you might even run into a snow shower. All right, let's check out your forecast first as we look at downtown Hartford. This morning, this is State Street, looking away from Channel 3. Over toward the downtown area, and here's your forecast first. A cloudy start to the day. Again, there could be a passing flurry or snow shower right around 32, so it's not as cold as yesterday morning was. This afternoon, some partial clearing, a little brighter than this morning, a high of around 47. The shoreline cloudy, maybe a flurry this morning, and partly sunny and 48 for this afternoon. Doppler 3000 is picking up some snow. This may be a loft, but a few snowflakes could be reaching the ground. Let's focus in on the Norwich area. And right around Norwich and Franklin, there could be a little bit of snowflake activity reaching the ground right now. Some places may get a dusting this morning. Other places won't see anything at all. All right, checking out temperatures, it's not as cold as it was yesterday morning. Instead of teens and 20s, we now have 20s and 30s. The cold spot, as usual, is Salisbury at 23. Torrington is 27, but Hartford is just above freezing at 33. At the coast, New Haven is 35 and Groton is 39, so the warm-up has already begun. Here's your forecast for today. A morning flurry, then partial clearing this afternoon. Highs 45 to 50 and becoming rather breezy out there this afternoon, but that wind is from the southwest, and that wind is going to continue to warm us up for tomorrow. I'll have your complete 5-day forecast coming up. at 5:13. Now back to the ladies in the studio. Good morning.
Thank you,
ladies.
Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, this morning we are learning that the hijackers behind September 11th may have prepared for that deadly day right here in Connecticut.
The Connecticut Post reports 4 of the 19 hijackers stayed at the Fairfield Motor Inn 6 months prior to the attacks. The paper says the men may have met with a Bridgeport man accused of issuing fake IDs to Arabs. A group of American pilots are glad to be back home in the U.S. 6 pilots from the 53rd Fighter Squadron were welcomed home by their families at Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. The pilots have been enforcing the no-fly zone over southern Iraq for the past 3 months. The remaining members of the 53rd Squadron will be coming back over the next 2 weeks.
A single pair of scissors grounded more than 800 passengers at Bradley International Airport yesterday morning. A janitor found the scissors in a bathroom trash can beyond the metal detectors at Terminal B. Following FAA regulations, Terminal B was evacuated. 10 American and Delta Airlines flights were delayed for hours while all passengers were screened again. Passengers on 8 flights, which had taken off already, were rescreened at their destinations.
It is now 5:06. Signs of smoke caused a United Airlines flight to be evacuated in Chicago. It happened last night at O'Hare International Airport. The pilot saw smoke coming out from the nose gear on flight 1852 arriving from Phoenix. An indicator light also alerted pilots, and they decided to evacuate the 757. The 176 passengers and 7 crew members exited the plane by way of the emergency slides. No injuries were reported.
Kids in West Hartford are taking a different kind of test this week. All students will be tested for tuberculosis now that an unidentified student has the disease. We know the student attends Conrad High School, though health officials say parents and students should not be alarmed. The student did not exhibit any symptoms of the disease. TB can be deadly, but if it's caught early enough, antibiotics can wipe it out.
State police are looking for anyone who saw a 4-car accident on I-91 yesterday that shut down the highway for 4 hours. It happened on I-91 southbound near exit 47 in Enfield. Police say 21-year-old Catherine Bougage was changing lanes when she hit a pickup truck and caused 2 other cars to crash. The drivers of the other cars were not injured. Bougage was taken to Bay State Medical Center in Springfield, where she is listed in critical condition. Anyone with information about the accident is asked to call the Connecticut State Police.
The days of teens cramming all their friends in a car on a Friday night may be over in this state. The legislature is considering limits on the number of passengers a teen can drive with. Channel 3's Leigh Frillici has that story.
This scene could one day be illegal. More than one teen getting into a car with a newly licensed 16 or 17-year-old driver behind the wheel.
You have a very dangerous combination of an inexperienced driver and someone who is still young and developing their perceptions of risk and those kinds of things.
David Preuser has been researching teen driving statistics for years. At a meeting in Avon this Tuesday night, he talked with parents and new drivers about a new bill that would curb teen drivers within their first 6 months. He feels the bill, if passed, would prevent scenes like this one, where 5 teens lost their lives in Meriden this summer.
Young drivers going in are roughly twice as likely to be involved in a fatal crash as are experienced drivers.
Add passengers to the mix, and a 16 or 17-year-old driver is more likely to cause a crash. With 1 passenger in the car, there's 14% more risk. Add 2 passengers to the car, 67% more risk. And 3 passengers or more, 88%.
That this is a law that will help protect their teenage sons and daughters.
The bill, if passed, would allow a 16 or 17-year-old driver within the first 6 months of getting their license to have only 1 passenger in their car under the age of 21. The idea is to reduce distractions. Some teens say this bill crosses the line.
Honestly, I think that that's a little too restrictive. It doesn't take into consideration at all circumstances that could be around.
Other teens say the merits of safety far too important to take a back seat to their social lives.
See all these facts and statistics, it's just amazing, like everything that goes into just getting behind a wheel.
Another part of the proposal, to boost the minimum number of behind-the-wheel instruction hours from 8 to 12. This bill is still in its infant stages. There'll be a public hearing held at the Legislative Office Building in Hartford today. Leigh Frillici, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Time now 5:09, and when we come back, Bruce is going to have a look at the forecast at 5:13.
Also coming up this morning, we're getting a first look at a controversial video taken inside New York's World Trade Center on September 11th. We'll have a preview.
Plus, Christopher Reeve testifies before the U.S. Senate in favor of human cloning.
We'll have those stories and more when Eyewitness News continues for Colchester, New Milford, Uncasville, and the place that you call home. Don't go away. Good morning, 5:11. Still ahead this morning, some of the brave dogs from Connecticut who helped out at Ground Zero are getting a very thankful reward. Don't go away.
Good morning, everyone. Time now 5:12, and we're going to check on the roads this morning.
Rachel Lutzker joins us now from the Channel 3 Timesaver Traffic Center. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Ellie and Kara. We're off to a fine start this morning. Our first look at traffic shows really a very quiet ride, and we'll start off taking a look along the shoreline, making our move along exit 53, north and south here along 95 with no problems out of East Haven. Same thing as we continue further southbound into Bridgeport. Traffic fairly light here by exit 25. These shots courtesy of Connecticut DOT. The drive on 91 will cost you no time at all heading into the 95 merge. Moving into New Haven, southbound traffic heading towards us here. And as you travel in through Hartford as well, 84 east and west moving well by 48 Asylum Street. Westbound traffic, the headlights moving towards us. The eastbound side still very light out of West Hartford with no additional delays along 91 in either direction, north or southbound sides. We'll head over to Bruce DePrest now and take a check on the forecast.
Now, weather on the threes with Bruce DePrest.
It is 5:13. Good morning, everybody. Our forecast is looking warmer. In fact, we're a lot warmer this morning than we were yesterday at this time, and that's all because a warm front is heading in our direction. We will get off to a rather cloudy start. We're looking at New Haven this morning where it's cloudy, and we're looking across the green and seeing the Center Church in New Haven this morning. And some places may get a flurry out there this morning, perhaps a snow shower that could leave a dusting in a few places. Right around 32 this morning. This afternoon, some partial clearing, and 47. It's going to get rather breezy today. The shoreline forecast cloudy. 36 this morning, already above freezing, and then 48 this afternoon with partly sunny, very breezy conditions. Doppler 3000 is picking up some snow in eastern Connecticut. A lot of this may be falling aloft. If anything is reaching the ground, it's going to be very, very light. All right, let's go to temperatures, and this is one of the key things. 33 in Hartford. Yesterday morning it was about 23, so we warmed up 10 degrees. And there's the wind direction out of the south now, and that southerly wind is going to bring in very mild air over the next couple of days. It's going to feel like spring before the weekend arrives. 21 is the dew point, so the air is fairly dry. And around the state, we have a combination of 20s and 30s. Still in the 20s in the Western Hills. Storrs is right at 30, so is Enfield. Hartford 33, Meriden 33, and Norwich 33 as well. It's 35 degrees in New Haven, and Groton is 39. Let's go to the maps, and our satellite picture shows that with the warm front, we're seeing a lot of clouds across the state. I'm hoping that we'll get into this clearer zone that you see in southern Pennsylvania. That should start to work into Connecticut as we head on through this afternoon. So the day gets off to a cloudy start, and a couple of snow showers possible as well. The snow showers extend all the way across the Great Lakes, and this is the boundary between cold air and mild air. You can see that Chicago is 24, Minneapolis is 21, but St. Louis is 47, and Cincinnati is 42. And that's the mild air that's coming our way for tomorrow on a southwesterly breeze. All right, here's your forecast for today. I'm looking at a morning flurry, partial clearing this afternoon. Highs 45 to 50, a pretty good southwest wind picking up. Then tonight, partly cloudy and not too cold. Lows are mainly in the 30s. And tomorrow looks like a mild day. Partly sunny skies, 53 to 58. Look at the 5-day planner. 60 on Friday, 63 on Saturday. Sunday, morning showers, then windy and turning colder.
Wow, that's amazing. 63 degrees.
Yeah, that's right, for the beginning of the weekend.
Sounds good.
We're trading with Florida. I hear it's pretty cold there.
Yeah.
It was very cold. They were in the teens in northern Florida just a few days ago.
Glad we're here in Connecticut then. All right, thank you very much,
All right,
Bruce.
you bet.
It is now 5:16. This Sunday on Channel 3, CBS will air the only known video shot inside the World Trade Center on September 11th.
In fact, we have a preview now of some of the still pictures from that video. They were taken by two French brothers who were filming a documentary on firefighters the day of the disaster. They rushed to the scene and went inside the first tower to be hit. The video they shot captures images of firefighters and civilians, many of whom died on 9/11.
The feeling in that lobby was, you know, it's going to be a long job, a tough job, but, you know, they'll put it out. They're firefighters.
Jules later escaped just minutes before Tower 1 collapsed. His brother Gideon was outside. Actor Robert De Niro, who witnessed the disaster, hosts the program, which will air Sunday night at 9 p.m. right here on Channel 3. Actor Reeve is telling lawmakers cloning may be the only way to help people like him walk again. The paralyzed actor testified before a Senate committee on what's called therapeutic cloning. The procedure produces embryos from stem cells, which have the potential to treat spinal cord injuries. Opponents are concerned that such technology could be used to clone a human being.
Now, some people are able to accept living with a severe disability. I am not one of them, and that is why I have a keen interest in research, and I'm deeply disturbed by unreasonable attempts to block scientific progress.
The House passed a bill last year banning all forms of human cloning, and the Senate has yet to pass a similar measure.
It is now 5:18 on this Wednesday morning. Still much more to come on this edition of Eyewitness News.
Students at an East Hartford high school are being tested for tuberculosis after a student tested positive for the disease.
And coming up in sports, we'll take you to the triumph of the Yukon women and more highlights coming up next.
Good morning, everyone. You may run into a few flakes of snow this morning, but warmer air is on the way. How warm will it get? The 5-day forecast at 5:23.
Good morning. We'll show you what happened to the Yukon women in just a moment, but first, the big news concerning the Boston Red Sox. Joe Kerrigan out as manager. Mike Cubbage is in there as an interim manager, but they'll get somebody with more experience before the season starts. Now, take a look at what the Yukon women did last night in New Jersey against BC in the Big East Championship game. Sue Bird showing the skills for zip. The outside game working well too. Diana Taurasi, Yukon by 11. And then back to Sue Bird, going coast to coast on her way to a 16-point game. The big gun was Asia Jones, 19 points, 11 assists. Yukon was up by 16. Folks, they would roll to the biggest margin of victory in Big East Championship history, 96-54, 33-0, yet another title. As for the Yukon men, congratulations to Karan Butler. There's your play of the year, and you know what? He deserves this honor. Co-player of the year in the Big East. He splits it with Pittsburgh's Brandon Knight. In the Ivy League, the scoreboard went Yale's way, even though it says Penn beat Princeton. What this does is it gives Yale a chance to make the NCAA tournament. Three-way tie in the Ivy League. Yale plays Princeton Thursday in Philly in the first game of that playoff. Of course, the big game is tonight in New Britain. Central against Quinnipiac. The winner wins the Northeast Conference and gets into the NCAA tournament. Central, the nation's longest winning streak, but they're not cocky.
We always have things we need to work on defensively as well as offensively. By no means are we saying, oh yeah, we're the best, no one can beat us, because that's not how it is.
That is all the sports for right now. I am indeed Joe Tessitore, and I do want you to have yourself a great day.
Now, weather on the threes. Here's Bruce DePrest from the Doppler 3000 Weather Center.
Good morning, everybody. It's 5:23. Not a great day, not a bad day either. In fact, it's going to be turning milder after a very wintry day, a cold day yesterday. All right, this is Hartford looking over toward the Travelers building, the Travelers Tower, and we are going to get off to a cloudy start. 32 this morning. You might even run into a flurry or a snow shower this morning. This afternoon, we'll say partly sunny, some partial clearing, 47. The shoreline starting out cloudy with a flurry possible, 36. 48 this afternoon with brighter skies. And Doppler 3000 is picking up some snow, most of it falling aloft, but some of it may be reaching the ground out around Norwich and Putnam on into Brooklyn and just to the north of the Groton, New London area. Travel weather for today, New York partly cloudy and 52, Washington 62, Atlanta 66. So the East Coast is getting mild, and that mild air is heading our way. Chicago about 36 today. On the West Coast, it looks like some rain developing in San Francisco and 59 degrees. We have some mild weather coming our way, 57 tomorrow and 60 plus Friday and Saturday. Eyewitness News this morning will continue right after this break.
Good morning, everyone. Here's a live look at the roads outside at 84 near the Sigourney exit. We're going to have a Timesaver Traffic report coming up next.
Good morning, everyone. It is 5:27 on this Wednesday morning. Let's get a check on the roads.
Rachel Lutzker joins us now from the Channel 3 Timesaver Traffic Center. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Karen, Ellie. We're still looking at a fairly decent ride this morning, so if you're just heading out the door, you'll find no problems in your way through Hartford. We'll start off taking a look at I-91 with no problems north and southbound side. The headlights coming towards you. That's heading southbound in towards the 84 merge with no problems here. Along 84 east and westbound, again, very quiet in from east or west Hartford. Eastbound passing 48 A and B. Traveling in through downtown this shot courtesy Hartford Traffic Operations. Along the shoreline 95 out by exit 53. Again, a quiet ride both directions. A few cars on the road and just starting to pick up into New Haven, but overall a very nice commute so far. Waterbury traffic again light 84 east and west, and also Route 8 carrying no problems. Now back to you.
Thanks, Rachel. Well, this morning, the Tokyo Stock Exchange closed higher. The Nikkei up more than 10 points.
Alexis Christoforous has more business news in the Market Watch report.
Multi-billion-dollar tech merger got a big thumbs up from a very important group. Institutional Shareholder Services advises clients on how to vote in mergers. Well, after the closing bell, the ISS recommended that shareholders vote in favor of the $22 billion buyout of Compaq and Hewlett-Packard. ISS says the deal will maximize shareholder value in the long run. The advisory firm's conclusion is likely to sway many fund companies. The merger proposal has been met with some resistance, especially from family member and board member Walter Hewlett, who is recommending shareholders vote down the deal. Well, shareholders will get their say in a vote March 19th and 20th. We're also watching Amazon.com today. Chief Financial Officer Warren Jensen announced he intends to resign later this year. He says he wants to move on to new challenges. Jensen has been the online retailer's CFO since September 1999. On Wall Street, the blue chips took a breather after 2 days of eye-popping gains despite more proof of a recovering economy. The Dow sank 153 points, but that's after running up nearly 500 points in the previous two sessions. The Nasdaq held its head above water with a gain of nearly 7. And the good economic news continues to pour in. Layoff announcements fell by 40% in February, and a key barometer of the services sector rose to its highest level in about 15 months. Track all of the pre-market action at cbs.marketwatch.com. At the Nasdaq, I'm Alexis Christoforous in New York.